Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Monica and today I'm doing a first impressions of the Little Sister Tarot by Ginny Thonston. This is one of the few decks that I backed on Kickstarter this year, and I did so for a number of reasons. What captured my eye with this deck was the fact that it was hand painted. It wasn't really excessively manipulated using digital manipulation or anything like that. I really appreciate hand-painted decks personally. That's not to say that there are exceptions to the rule. However, yeah, I really like the artwork and I like the story behind it. I like the, what the creator, Ginny, had to say about her process in creating the deck. And yeah, I really wanted to obtain this deck. Also, I don't have anything in my collection that is similar in nature to this deck. I've seen other decks out there that could probably come close to it. I would say something like the Gentle Tarot, perhaps, but I don't have that deck yet. So I thought that for this review, it is in two parts, or rather it's a first impressions. I can't say I've worked with the deck extensively enough to call it a in-depth review. But nonetheless, I will split this video in two parts. The first part is my impressions and some of the cards that I really like about this deck. And in the second part, I'm doing a full flip through. So the deck itself comes in a really nice box. You can easily take the cover on and off, which is very handy. And it's really sturdy, by the way. It's quite solid. And it does come with a booklet that has an introduction from the creator and also explanations of the meanings of the cards. It's done in colors, so for the major arcana you get a color image of the card as well as the meaning. It does include reversed meanings. My only critique, if you like, of the booklet is that I would have preferred a little bit more input from the artist on her I guess description of the imagery and what prompted her to create the card in the way that she did. So I don't have an issue with the fact that she's included, meanings of the cards, like the tarot meaning itself. I really love to read about the creative process of each artist, and often that's missing. So I hope that, in the future, any deck creators really give some thought and put a bit of consideration into including that with their deck. It makes for a more meaningful relationship with the deck, and also to understand the creative process behind it. But that's just my personal opinion, and others might disagree. I don't know. So yeah, it's got a really nice booklet that comes with it. It fits inside the box very well. And then we come to the deck itself. Now let's look at the card backs and the cardstock to begin with. The card backs are really beautiful. I absolutely love the image that she chose for the card backs. I also think that the lighting in my room doesn't do it justice. It's a really vibrant blue, like a deep blue with green. It's absolutely beautiful. And also you will see that the cards have this blue edging on the sides. Now this isn't gilded like in a metallic gilding like you find with many other decks, and I love that. I love it for this reason. I did see when she put up on the Kickstarter a question about the edging, and everyone's got an opinion. You can't please everyone at the end of the day, and I think every artist should choose whatever they want to ultimately. I don't mind not having the metallic gilding. I think that's overdone, and in many decks I think it detracts from their, like, how user-friendly it is to shuffle them, to cut them as well. you have to be really good at metallic gilding and get a really good publisher to do it right, in my opinion at least. So this is really nice to have this beautiful blue, and it really complements the colored scheme of the deck. It's a really, really nice touch. My only issue, it's not really an issue, but it's hard to describe. You know, I'm really big on the tactile feel of things and how they feel. And when I first opened it and I tried it, I actually felt like it had just a little bit too much friction or roughness to this. And I guess that's why people go for a metallic gilding or edging, because it is a lot smoother. But in saying that, you can shuffle it quite nicely. It's not impossible to shuffle, which was a worry of mine when I first opened it and got it out. I thought, oh no, this is going to be really difficult to shuffle. You can actually shuffle it quite well. So personally, for me, it's a big plus, but I can see how other readers might consider the way that the edging feels to be a detriment rather than a positive. You know, but each to their own. Like I said, you can't please everyone when it comes to tarot decks. So I'm going to have a look at some cards that I thought are, you know, some of my favorite cards, if you like. I like the whole deck, I will say. I love the energy that it has. And the energy that it has, I can only describe it as a very calming, soothing, healing, sort of comforting energy. It's not overly bright or like some decks, there's just too much going on, too much detail. The colors can be a bit jarring. I actually don't find that with this deck at all. Like I said, it's hand painted, and that is a big plus for me. I do not back decks that are digitally manipulated a lot or really heavily into that. I'm not into digital collage that much, and also it goes without saying that artificial intelligence AI decks are a big no-no for me. So I value basically the workmanship that goes into a hand-drawn deck, even though, you know, when it comes to artistic style, it's not for everyone's taste, and I get that. But for me, it a little bit reminds me of some of my childhood books, you know, that sort of, I think it's called naive art style. I don't like to use that word because it's sort of, I feel like it diminishes its value. Anyway, let's have a look. So, the Fool. Oh, and before I go on, yes, it is a heavily feminine energy or feminine influence in this deck. So as far as I can tell, virtually all of the figures or the characters are female. Sometimes they're a little bit androgynous, so you can't really tell either way, but I can't say that there's definite masculine characters or male characters in the deck. And that might be something that other readers or collectors might wish to consider before obtaining this deck. So the Fool. I really love the Magician card. I would say it's probably one of my favorite cards, this Magician card. So beautiful and rich, but not over the top, and very strong, I feel, as well. The High Priestess is another one. I really appreciate the color choices, the way that they're blended together, the symbolism chosen. There is symbolism there, but it's not too heavy, you know, it's not too much. It doesn't detract from the overall card, meaning. And also the Hermit. I think I like this Hermit because I'm a big fan of doing this. And no, I don't do it enough. I don't do a lot of it. I really need to. It's almost like you have to put effort into taking time out from everything and be on your own with a candle and a book, or just just some quiet solitude time. There's just a really beautiful feeling about it. So the Two of Pentacles, I love that, the artist keeps to the meaning or the imagery of the Two of Pentacles, having these two pentacles. That's like a balancing act, and yet she also put these quite significant waves or turbulence in the background. So keeping with that idea of juggling while, there's lots of things going on. The Queen of Pentacles, I can only say that I hope that this is this is sort of what I want to do. I guess that's why I am really drawn to this particular queen in this deck. I love how she's so connected to nature, the plants, the flowers around her, but there's also, animals. So it's very, very Mother Earth, very grounded energy, very pragmatic and stable. Yeah, absolutely love that. The Four of Wands, it's like when I see this card, everything is right in the world. We've got the home in the background, and then we have what I can only assume to be a fence, and then these beautiful flowers just bursting forth like it's like a spring or a summer's day. Absolutely stunning and gorgeous. And the Four of Swords, I appreciated the calming, healing energy of this card here. So yeah, to me personally, I feel like this card really captures the essence of laying down, of recuperation, of rest, of healing, of looking after yourself, just taking time out from the world in like an enclosed sanctuary. The Six of Swords. What I really loved about this card was the inclusion of, the birds, giving that sense of direction and being divinely guided, or, knowing where you're going, or having, a defined idea of the journey and where you're heading off to. Because the birds, of course, they know that, they're part of that cyclical seasonal migration that they undertake. And they know their path and, the way to head, or the way to journey and where to go. So I really appreciated this really small symbol that gives a lot of positive meaning to the card, and adds weight to a person's journey in a supportive, meaningful way. And the Ten of Swords, this is one of the most difficult cards in the deck of 78, one of painful endings, and certainly you get that from the card because it is so, I don't want to say dark, but the colors in it, the choices of the blues and the black and the blanket is just, or perhaps that's blood. Yeah, they're very, very heavy and muted, and bring that, they support that idea of a difficult ending. But then we've got this really perfectly placed bright golden orb that's emerging, significant of a new sunrise. I mean, it could also be a sunset, but to me, I really took it that it's like, the sun coming up, because it is so bright. It reminds me of like the morning sun rising up, to give that sense of, okay, that part of a journey is over, that particular situation is over, and it's over painfully, but your life isn't over, right? So that's the Ten of Swords. The Two of Cups, I just appreciate that it's really a beautiful card that shows connection between two lovers, two soulmates, two people that are supportive of each other and are in love, and are naked, which can also symbolize their innocence. There's no hidden agendas there. I think it's beautifully done. And the Five of Cups, I like that this person is choosing not to see they're choosing not to see what's left over with these 2 upright cups. And there's the 3 that are spilled. So there's a sense of loss, and they're not open to moving on. So it reinforces that idea of being stuck, of choosing to remain in that grief, in that depression, in that difficult, challenging circumstance, and not really making an attempt even to see if there's something in the horizon, in the future, to look forward to. And the 9 of Cups, because, well, I really liked her. I love the way that she's just so comfortable and at peace, and enjoying where she's at in life. This is a card of someone who's happy inside, and having her eyes closed, it's like really savoring that moment when everything is right in your world. And then we've got the 10 of Cups. I just love the aesthetic of it all. I love the energy that it brings, one of support and calm and happiness and of friendship. So these are, and then there's the Sun and all the other cards, but these were just some of the cards that I wanted to talk about or to highlight that I really like, and the reasons why I like them. And I think that it gives you an idea of the overall energy of the deck and what it feels like visually. But I will go through the full 78 card flip through one at a time without any discussion or commentary, just allowing you to absorb the feel of the deck. And personally for me, what I'm getting from this deck is that this is a deck that I'll be using either for myself, working through with it through personal issues or difficult times in my life, or working for, if I do use it for clients, it will be in a very, how shall I say, it'll be for those clients that are going through a period of grief or healing, when they're looking for guidance that's more related to loss, the grieving process, perhaps a bit of personal development, something along those lines. But I'm not going to use this deck. Essentially what I'm saying, I'm not using this deck for pragmatic questions like, will I get a job, or will I, be successful in buying this house, or anything like that. It's just not suited for those type of questions. At least that's my personal feel of it.
Thank you.